Jack Dutton, the heir we thought was destined to lead the Dutton family into the future, is dead. And with his death, everything we thought we knew about the Dutton legacy is now in question. His sudden, brutal demise has shattered the fragile illusion of certainty that fans have clung to for seasons. What does this mean for the future of the Duttons? Who will carry on the family's name? And more importantly, who can survive the brutal world they've created? The shocking twist in 1923 has left us all gasping for answers. And today, we're diving deep into the fallout from Jack's death, trying to piece together how it changes the entire course of the Dutton legacy. The Dutton family has always been built on a foundation of strength, loyalty, and a fierce determination to preserve their way of life. From the first time we saw John Dutton in Yellowstone, we understood that the Dutton name was more than just a label. It was a legacy, one forged through hardship, sacrifice, and an iron grip on the land. For years, fans have speculated on who would carry the Dutton legacy forward, particularly after the mysterious death of John Dutton Sr. back in 1923, Season 1. But with Jack Dutton's unexpected death in Season 2, that question has become all the more complicated. For the longest time, Jack seemed like the perfect candidate to step into his father's shoes. He was the son of John Dutton Sr., the grandson of James Dutton from 1883, and someone who had a deep connection to the family's past. Jack wasn't just a loyal husband to Elizabeth and a devoted nephew to Cara and Jacob. He was a Dutton through and through, someone who embodied the rugged spirit that had been passed down through generations. His relationship with the land, his unwavering loyalty to his family, and his quiet strength all pointed to him as the heir to carry the Dutton name into the future. But Jack's sudden and senseless death has flipped everything on its head. What seemed like a clear path for the Dutton family is now a winding road filled with uncertainty and danger. Jack's death wasn't just a tragedy for his wife, Elizabeth, or for the ranch. It was a massive blow to the entire Dutton legacy. For fans, this death was a gut punch, not only because of the way it happened, but because Jack had so much potential. He was a character who had so much more to give, and his potential was never fully explored. He had the makings of a man who could rise to the challenge, yet he was cut down too soon and too brutally. The way Jack died, shot and killed without warning, was shocking in itself. But what made it even more frustrating was that it seemed almost senseless. His death didn't come as a result of some larger plot or grand scheme. It was the result of his own carelessness, a mistake that could have been avoided. It's a decision that left fans scratching their heads, wondering why the writers would kill off a character who seemed so crucial to the story. After all, Jack was poised to play a major role in the family's future. Was this just another twist in Taylor Sheridan's unpredictable storytelling, or was there something more beneath the surface? Some fans were quick to argue that Jack's death was a necessary sacrifice to push the story forward. It certainly opens the door for other characters, like Spencer, to step into the spotlight. But it still stings. Jack's death isn't just a plot point, it's a heartbreaking loss for his family, and for us as viewers who had invested in his character. The actor who portrayed Jack, Darren Mann, was just as shocked by the character's sudden departure. In an emotional interview, Darren shared how deeply he connected with Jack, describing how much time he spent building the character and imagining what his future would look like. And then, to have it all taken away in a moment was a huge blow, not just to him, but to the fans who had come to care about Jack's story. But what does Jack's death mean for the future of the Duttons? With Jack gone, the family has lost its anchor, the one person who seemed poised to carry on the ranch's legacy. And that brings us to Spencer Dutton, Jack's cousin, and the other main contender to take the mantle. Spencer is the son of James Dutton from 1883, and while he's been off in Africa for much of the series, his return has been hinted at throughout. Spencer has always been a bit of an enigma, a man who doesn't fit perfectly into the mold of the Duttons, yet has a deep connection to the family's history. With Jack dead, Spencer now seems like the only logical candidate to fill the massive void left behind. But Spencer's own future is fraught with challenges. We know from Yellowstone that John Dutton has referred to his grandfather, a man who lost his leg and suffered greatly. This could be a crucial clue in understanding what comes next for Spencer. If Spencer loses his leg, as hinted in the show, it would not only mirror his grandfather's suffering, but could mark a pivotal moment in the family's history. Yet there's also the possibility that John Dutton was referring to his maternal grandfather instead. This opens up a whole new mystery about John's family, one that hasn't been explored much in this series. Could the key to understanding the Dutton legacy lie on a side of the family we know nothing about? For now, the death of Jack has left the Dutton family in disarray, forcing us to reconsider everything we thought we knew about the future of the ranch. With Spencer potentially stepping in, we can only wonder how his journey will unfold, and whether he'll be able to rise to the challenge that Jack, tragically, never got the chance to face. But one thing is for certain, Jack's death has set in motion a series of events that will change the Dutton family forever. And the real question now is, who will survive the fallout? As the dust settles on Jack Dutton's death, the implications for the Dutton family legacy become increasingly clear. For the Duttons, family isn't just a bond, it's everything. The ranch is more than just land. It's their identity, their survival, and the foundation upon which the family's power is built. Jack's untimely demise didn't just leave a hole in the family's heart. It left a gaping wound in the Dutton legacy, one that might never fully heal. With the family's future uncertain, the focus now shifts to Spencer Dutton, Jack's cousin, and the new possible heir to the Dutton fortune. Spencer's return to the fold of the Dutton family, while inevitable, isn't without complications. Spencer, who has been living abroad in Africa, seems disconnected from the ranch, from the legacy, and from the brutal world that Jack, John Dutton, and the others have fought to preserve. Spencer is a man caught between worlds, a man who has experienced the vast beauty and danger of the world far outside the family ranch, yet is still tied to the Dutton bloodline. This makes his return both exciting and daunting. What makes Spencer's potential role as the new Dutton heir so fascinating is his complexity as a character. Spencer is not like Jack. He's not the clear-cut choice that fans might have expected. He's a man who's been absent from the daily struggle of the Duttons, the endless fight to keep the ranch and the family name alive. His life in Africa has been about survival in a different kind of wilderness, one where the stakes are high and the enemies aren't always clear. The question now is whether Spencer, after years away, can step into the role his family needs him to play, or if he's too far removed from the Dutton way of life to understand the true weight of what's at stake. The death of Jack also brings to the surface another mystery that has been lurking in the shadows of the Dutton family history: John Dutton Sr.'s grandfather. In Yellowstone, we hear John speak of a man who lost his leg and suffered immense pain, someone who seems to have experienced tragedy on a scale that resonates through the generations. While fans have speculated that John was referring to Spencer, the possibility exists that he was talking about his maternal grandfather. This is a game-changing revelation, one that could throw everything we know about the Dutton family tree into chaos. If the mystery of John's maternal side were explored, it would open up entirely new branches of the family's story, potentially revealing secrets that even John Dutton himself doesn't know. For now, the focus remains on Spencer. His return to the family fold is inevitable, but how he integrates into the Dutton legacy is still uncertain. His relationship with the ranch and the family will be tested in ways that Jack's never were. Spencer, despite his experience in Africa, might not be ready for the brutal politics and heartless decisions that come with being at the helm of the Dutton Empire. But one thing is clear: Spencer's actions will define the future of the Dutton family. This brings us to another critical point: Elizabeth, Jack's widow, and the unborn child she now carries. Jack's death wasn't just a blow to the Dutton family, it was a devastating tragedy for Elizabeth, who is now left to carry the weight of the family's future alone. It's hard not to feel a deep sense of sorrow for Elizabeth. She has been thrown into a world of grief and uncertainty, with no clear direction for her future. What does she do now? Will she remain tied to the ranch, or will she seek a new life, free from the turmoil that claimed her husband's life? The arrival of Elizabeth's child could be crucial to the family's future. While Jack's death leaves a void, the unborn child represents the possibility of a new generation of Duttons, someone who could rise to the challenge that Jack was supposed to face. Whether this child will play a role in the ranch's future, or whether they will grow up in a world where the Dutton family's power is fading, remains to be seen. This is yet another loose end that 1923 will have to explore, and it will undoubtedly play a significant role in how the next chapter of the Dutton saga unfolds. It's impossible to ignore the impact Jack's death has had on the fans. It wasn't just about losing a character, it was about losing a piece of the puzzle. Fans had invested in Jack. They believed he was the future of the Dutton family, the one who would carry on the legacy. But now we are left with questions that may never be answered fully. Did Jack die for nothing? Was his death simply a plot device to push the story forward? Or was it a deeper, more meaningful statement about the fragility of life in the world of the Duttons? Whatever the case may be, one thing is certain. Jack's death has changed everything, and the Dutton legacy will never be the same again. As we wait for the 1923 season finale, we're left with a sense of anticipation and dread. What will happen next for Spencer? How will the family cope with the loss of Jack? And will the Dutton legacy endure, or will it crumble under the weight of the tragedies that continue to plague this cursed family? The answers lie in the future of the Duttons, but with each passing moment, it feels like we're only getting closer to the unraveling of everything they've built. Jack's death might have seemed sudden, but its repercussions are just beginning to take shape, and they will echo throughout the rest of the Yellowstone universe for years to come. The Dutton family has been through endless trials, but as we've learned, the greatest trials are often still to come.